Hello, I am Alexander Wortley, and this is a brief presentation on electric cars and their impact on the environment. This presentation will discuss the pros and cons of electric cars, the various types of pollution they produce, the overall functionality of these vehicles, and the cost, monetarily as well as the environmental changes and energy shortages attributed to these electric cars. Well, just what are electric cars? Quite simply, they are automobiles that run on electricity instead of gasoline. It is important to understand the difference between electric cars and hybrid vehicles. The difference is that hybrids can run off of both gasoline and electricity, as well as alternate between the two. Electric cars require charging, and in some cases for considerable periods of time, upwards of 6 hours. This makes them less functional. Though they run off electricity, they still can emit dangerous types of pollution into the environment. And places where electricity is scarce cannot afford to use their energy on electric cars. And finally, electricity just isn't free. This slide will focus on pollution. Air pollution is when some entity emits a harmful gas into the air that in turn can affect the environment in a negative way. Air pollution contributes to the loss of the ozone layer. This leads to global warming. Electric cars do effectively reduce emissions when compared to gasoline-type vehicles. Electric cars also reduce noise pollution. Noise pollution is when large levels of sounds are being emitted. An example of noise pollution would be rush hour in Los Angeles. Electric cars are much quieter than normal cars. This is one of the benefits of driving them. This slide will focus on the pros and cons of electric cars. Electric cars are good and bad. This is why there's so much debate on the subject. On the pros side, we have an alternative to gasoline. This is important because consumers can technically reduce their carbon footprint. And when compared to gasoline, the overall per mile cost of electric cars is lower. Electric cars also have fewer moving parts and traditionally fewer overall parts, meaning there's less to fix. On the opposite end of things, electric cars tend to cost more, which is a problem. Electric cars traditionally also can only travel 75 to 100 miles per charge, which makes them much harder to use. Here we will focus on the functionality of electric cars. Electric cars run off of fuel cells instead of the traditional combustion methods of car motors. This is an example of a change in what we usually are used to. Traditionally, gasoline combusts, therefore powering the engine, giving us a little air pollution, but a powered car. Generally, electric cars will produce less air pollution. To make the ideal electric car, though, newer technology is needed. Examples of this is needing a longer lasting charge, faster speeds, considering most electric cars can only get up to 70 miles an hour, and a faster charging period, as well as an extended battery life. Even with all the potential problems and newer technology needed to make the ideal electric car, there is a chance for a brighter tomorrow. We are reducing carbon footprints and air pollution as a whole. With electric cars, we potentially can save the world.